Right, so hello again, only a week on. I've come back this morning to go rune hunting and looking for symbols in this lot because, oh my God, you find one little thing that becomes a clue, something else, and then you find another one, and before you know it, you're scrambling around in the woods on a Sunday morning with a floor brush and a spray bottle of water. So, yeah, in this lot here, there's quite a bit of symbology. Now, to the average person, and even to, I must confess, I'm no genius, but to me, looking at it straight off, it was like, what on earth are these symbols, astrological symbols, doing here? There must be mason's marks, must be on every stone or something, I don't know, but then I found runes, bind runes, planetary numbers and things, and it all gets a bit crazy. So I'm here to try and decode some of this for you today, so keep watching please. Don't just tune out because it seems a bit esoteric or a bit weird. But the more and more I find out about the alternative history of Milner Field in this place, the more I'm just not only puzzled but intrigued. And what else besides work and sleeping and eating and all the rest, we're also going to do in shutdown. So I hope you enjoy this. Please leave me your comments and yeah, get in touch if you've got any idea about what all of this means. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to start this one here. This is the first one that I found. You can see here this hollowed out in the underneath. This is upside down. That's an angular piece. I'm going to look at the back yet. But this is what made me curious in the first place. This odd looking number 5 here. And then we've got these two here. Still kind of star shape. Joined by the triangle above, two together. Which is like a cosine. So I'm going to show you the others in a minute. But most of these pieces seem to be in this kind of shape and form. So I'm presuming that these are off either the underside of the chimney breast or the actual chimney stack, which is why they're hollowed out, or off one of the mullions near the roof. So what made me interested first of all is this. I've been a bit of a buff for astrology for years. I recognised this straight away and I was like, this one here, that's a sextile. 6-point simple star, and above it, triangular trine. Now, trine is a synthesis, like the alignment of two planets with a trine, like with the sun or the moon or whatever, and that shows all of the symbols that I found are basically for prosperity and good luck and convergence and harmony. So we know that the original architect and builder Robert Harris, who's described as a large, rough-looking hook-nosed gentleman with a big beard who wore a sombrero. He came up from London and to design and build the house for Sir Titus Salt Jr. So we don't know what kind of instructions he had, either from Salt himself, who I suspect was a member of a Masonic society. As if you see in the history of Milner Field House, you can see the ivory mason's mallet and tools which Titus Salt Jr. actually used. So it could well be that they were familiar with not only astrological symbols, but numerological planetary symbols. Number 5 symbolises Mercury or Apollo, and this one here would have been the trine and the sextile. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit about those later on. But you put the two together, it would seem to be Mercury trine sextile. So I'm not quite sure. I'm going to do my homework later on that one. But Robert Harris was the chap that built the place. So I found that first of all, and then later I found the other ones. I'm still looking as well, there may be more. And then I've got like Masonic symbolism showing up and runes as well. So that'll be the next one that I show you. Okay, so this is the second one I found, again just by accident. Wasn't even looking at this stage. I thought the first one was just an anomaly or something. And this is this end of a mullion that stuck out, so this isn't like some of the other markings. And underneath there you've got the what's quite clearly set square and compass, symbol of here in my beef and the Masons, and I'm sure some of the stonemasons I believe were from York, so they would have been connected. Obviously Bradford at that time, at Salt's time, was a big Masonic city, and as Bradford and this area kind of ends, you know, kind of round ley lines too, it would have been quite popular. And this symbol above, if you just turn that way, sideways, that's Dagaz. Dagaz is a Nordic Room, and it's a rune of light and uncoverment. So I'll just read you this, what it says. It basically symbolises day, daylight, dawn, and breakthrough, radical change, illumination. So yeah, those two go perfectly together. Given the context, the divine light is guiding you towards your goal. If you remain true, good fortune will be yours. You're protected by the power of the light. Again, it will give you clear vision to avoid dangers. Don't be blinded by your ego though. Remain humble and thankful for all the things that are coming to you. So Dagaz is kind of yeah, another very positive symbology here on that stone, which yeah, again gives us another little part of the clue. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, well, you know what, let's have a look for one or two more. And then just here finds this one, which is let me try and get it the right way around. Yeah, here we've got what looks like an M, an I, quite a slim looking 3, and an X. First I'm thinking, well, that's not a date, is it? It's kind of a bit, looks a bit mishmash. Before it clicked in my little brain that the M, I think it was looking at it the other way around, so it would have been an X, an upside down 3, an I, and an M. So that's Manaz, and that is Isa, and that's Gable. So Manaz, oh sorry, Mewaz first of all, getting my runes mixed up. Mewaz is a rune of momentum, of the horse, the beast of burden, steed, mount, momentum, speed. And this kind of symbolises having the support you need to make swift progress towards your goals, but also remembering to be loyal and supportive to those people around you, and that can help you achieve exactly what you need. As horses are proud, it's you know, you shouldn't impede on your purpose by being proud. So you've got to be proud of your achievements, but you must be humble to make sure the journey is successful. And everything we knew about Salt and the Salt family was that they really did look after people. Now, if we're reading it this way, left to right, the next rune is Isa. Isa symbolises ice, cold, lack of change, stagnation, you know, kind of journeys over water, things like that. As we know, Salt was connected with South America, the alpaca trade and the mill. But Isa is a very feminine, kind of winter-like rune. As for the 3, well, that's in there as well. I'll get to that in a minute. And then you've got the rune of good luck, fortune, Gabo. Gabo speaks for itself. It's the one which the Salt family would have thrived on, making your own good luck, making your own fortune as well. I'll just read you a little bit about that. So we've got also the rune of love and forgiveness, partnership, gifts, talents, skills or abilities. So it's a gift that you're given or that you've learnt in this lifetime, presenting the choice of acceptance or rejection. If you accept, you've got to be prepared to give back in return, and it's finding the balance between giving and receiving as well. So this particular block has 2 lots of runes, so I'm not sure about the placing of these or what exactly the placing of these runes and symbols was, and it all seems a little bit far-fetched, I know, maybe to some of you who've got no knowledge of runes or astrology. but this one seems to symbolise Hagelas, which is a rune of disruption, weather, natural forces, and interference and so on. So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know, it might make sense. I'm just hypothesizing with most of this, but it's what this rune symbolizes is that there's nothing to be feared from upsets and disturbances and weather and nature, and you know, it's to be more determined to face these challenges, and that to grow by overcoming the challenges as well. The next character looks like a 4, but I'm not sure if that is actually a 4. It's well, it is, but it looks a little bit like the Jupiter symbol in astrology as well, but it's not quite defined enough to be that. So yeah, if we go back to this, 3 as it is there, well, it's just kind of the edge of it there has just been damaged a bit, but 3 symbolises Jupiter, and Nagas and 4 is Uranus. So yeah, Uranus is generally associated with, you know, kind of out there, unexpected happenings, freak weather and things, and just not general chaos, but I guess what they were trying to do was try to harness some of that power by preempting that with these runes. So there we go. And this next one is right by the other 2. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking straight away is, oh, those are Roman numerals, those are dates, MXI, that way around, and so on and so on, but why would you include runes on there? And if those were just Masonic markings to say where to put each stone, why bother carving them in that way? And why don't all the masonry have them on? Because there's only like a very few that have. So these were clearly key corner pieces or parts which were specially assigned, maybe by a master mason, I don't know. So here we'll just have a look at this one first with Othala. So this is Othala, which is the rune pertaining to family, home acquisitions, a home or hearth, family, estate, and so on. And of course, it said that Titus Salt Senior bought the house, bought the land for Titus Salt Junior when he was betrothed to Catherine Crossley, who later, from Halifax, who later became Catherine Salt, if I'm getting my historical facts right here. So what's interesting about this one is it's not just Othala, because you see Othala there, looks like this kind of cross or ribbon symbol, but it's also got carved through the centre, so that's what they call like a bind rune. Now I think it's a bind rune of Othala and Tiwas, most likely, but rather than Isa. So Tiwas is the warrior's rune, the god of battles, including legal battles, legislation, protector of warriors, courage, compassion, courage and heart and skill, wisdom, everything you've acquired so far to protect your faith. So yeah, that's quite a powerful bind rune of protection, given the business that Salt was in and the times, what his father achieved. So here again we've got Isa, Gebu and Mewaz, or if you look at it that way round, yeah, Mewaz, Gebu and Isa again. So repeating runes there. And this one over here, here we've got another 5. Yeah, you can just see that, just uncover that one. And we've got Ewaz, which is a rune of defence, as pertains to yew tree, and also weapons, magic, deflection, prevention, time of transformation, letting go of the old and embracing the new, and not to be frightened of change and expansion as well. So again, that's associated with 5, which is Mercury. So there we go, those two sit together. And if you're wondering whereabouts these markings are, you can see the second cellar entrance, the corner of the house there. Then we're right here, right by the corner. As you can see, that would have been where the dining room, edge of the dining room, and servants' quarters and servants' bed were, just adjoining on as we go down here to where the kitchens would have been far side. And you got the bottom terrace there as well. So if you do want to have a look, the first one is just round the other side, round the other corner, nearest the fence to the farmer's field. Okay, here we go again. I just stepped on this one by mistake and then realised we've got, I can't quite get under there, but there's looks like a 5 there. And then on this side, just giving that a spray and just a wipe there, it looks like an RP. Yeah, definitely RP. I'm not sure, it looks a bit rougher, that one. Kind of hard to make out from one angle, but if you look at it from the other angle, it looks like Fehu Rune, but it's not, it's an RP. So I'm going to have to have a look and see if we can find an RP associated with the original building, and get back to you on that one. Okay, so yeah, just getting home and looking at this more carefully. I think my myopic vision had seen it as maybe RP, but PR. And here we go from the book of Milner field history, that Robert Harris showed himself to be a disciple in his architectural style of Pugin and Ruskin. So there we go, just to clarify that point for you, Pugin and Ruskin. Yeah, another one here. It's a double gable. Love, look. That's up near the remnants of the bell tower, if you want to find that one. And he's very hit and miss as to which of these mullions, these pillars, actually have anything carved on them. So it does kind of rule out the theory that they were all marked individually as just part of the bog standard plan. So, you know, using logic, you would say, well, you know, each one with a symbol on would have been used to mark a specific point in the house. And as the old masons were very much into mathematics and geometry as well, I would be guessing that if you could do the monumental task of ruminating on all of this and putting it all together, you'd find a greater significance. So yeah, we're just near the second cellar entrance there, which you can just see daylight through, just for reference. Alright, so here we go again. There's another one. Get the water bottle out for this and just have a good old look. Scrub and see what we come out with. It looks like, yeah, I need a bit more in there. So we've got here something emerging. Love this. This is like Harry Potter shit, man. Look for the hidden symbols in the woods. Bloody hell. There's no spiders out here. Right, so it's looking like we've got there was a 3 and what looks like a 6. Yeah. Oh, that could be nine glass. 3 and 6 as well. So by this point, I think, you know, if you're following this and you're making any sense of what I'm trying to show you, then you could probably do your own bit of research for that. And look at that 6. Is it a 6 or a 5? It's a 6. Definitely a 6. Oh, and holy Moses, look at this. Oh, let me just get under there. There's another Masonic set square. So yeah, there's just signs all over this flipping place. Let me take a quick snapshot of that as well. Is that working? Where's my yeah, so you've got your, let's just get the spray on that again. And people asking me, how do you spend your Sunday mornings, Dave? Right, okay. Well, you know, I like to go out to the woods with a squirty bottle and a floor brush and just poke about. Oh, I'm going to get called a geek for this, but right, okay, no, hang on a minute. Is it actually right? What the hell is that? That's not just a set square. Looking at that, that's, oh, I'm going to have to come back to that. That looks like a bind rune. Look at it from all angles. Just to see which way it should be. I'm not quite sure yet. My brain's not engaged yet. But I'm guessing that each one of these, and there's going to be another one under there, which I'm going to have to come back with a trowel or something to find that. That's 1, 3, 6. So that's gonna need a trowel. Seen this as well. Piping, iron water pipes. That's just stuck out. That's going way down as well. Okay, so here we go again. If you've not got the hang of this, we've got AWAS 3 associated with Jupiter, 6 association with Venus, and then this bind rune. I've had a good kind of squint at it, and it looks to be Othala and Dagas. So yeah, there's some powerful energy in these stones. With these, if you look into the symbology, there's a strange picture building here. Something that's going on. I don't have to get down there yet, which I don't know. I might have to come back another day. There's quite a few tourists and people around. I think they're Norwegian. So it sounds like could go and ask them about the runes actually. Not sure they'd understand my Yorkshire twang. So yeah, gonna have to have a squint down here at some point to see if there's any more, and if there is, as and when I find them, because there's these little stones everywhere which we're gonna have to brush off. And I'll get back to you with a little photo journal or a report or something, because you don't just want to look at me all day kind of brushing stones and stuff. Some of you, those are the big geeks amongst you, want to get down here and have a good look for yourself. Okie dokie, so I've got another one here. This is just by the front doorway onto the terrace, the main hall there. So if you're coming down through what would have been the front porch, another one here which is yeah, this is a combination. You've got the trine, you've got the sextile and the rune as well there. So let's just have a look at that. Let's get my sheet out so I don't make any mistakes here. Just bear with me a sec while I get my reference point. This is just a small block, that's, or the end piece of a small block. I only just spotted that by accident as well, but now I'm looking out for it. It seems to be everywhere. Yeah, so pardon me, that is a bind rune using astrology as well. So that's a thala at the bottom, which binds into sextile and trine. And I'm just wondering where the other half, or the other part of this block is. I know there's a little bit underneath there, but I don't think that's it. No, that's just a random piece that's of somewhere else. I'm guessing it could be somewhere here. And this is just a gigantic mound. You've got like a 12-foot mound, which is, oh, God knows, a good 20 or 30 foot across and deep. It's just, there's got to be all sorts under there. But that's probably the last one I'm going to bring you for today. And that Athala sextile trine, that's going to symbolise another quite powerful bind combination too. So whatever trinity that is, I presume this area would have been what between the library there and then the drawing room there. So most of these stones can be found around the library, which would make perfect sense in my mind, as Salt was a massive bibliophile. He was absolutely nuts about his books. He took it very seriously. And just going back to his death, his doctor, Dr. Ellis, actually remarked that Salt was a man who didn't have any kind of other pastimes or pleasures. He didn't do any sports. He didn't do anything like that. He didn't have any kind of trivial things in his life. He was just work all the time. Innovation, work, and presumably his family and his Masonic duties, or his business duties as well. And so he said, well, if he had done some of those things, he might have lived a bit longer than 44. So yeah, that's probably it for today. But at some point I'm probably going to try and get under the ivy. Bye for now. Okie dokie, so just trying to put all this together, and let me just adjust that a bit, that's better. Put some of this together. When I found the first couple of symbols there, I was like, really odd. Now I'm finding quite a few more. Yeah, it kind of becomes a bit like a mystery to me. I mean, I think the first few times other people were kind of wandering around and, you know, kind of looking what you're doing with your brush and so on. So I was explaining, oh yeah, and this is astrological symbol, this is a mason's mark and stuff. And it didn't occur to me that there would be some kind of theme. And I even considered as well that this could have been done later by somebody else, possibly, but why? And these marks do look like original marks, you know, and they're very kind of carefully done and positioned and placed as well. So when it clicked in my brain that these were runes we're looking at, and then I know that runes and astrology and numerology all connectedness together, and it certainly would have been from a Freemason's point of view, from Titus Salt Jr.'s point of view. He would have almost certainly had a hand in this, along with the architect and the builder Robert Harris. So without knowing more about their past history, it's difficult to comment on that, but all the evidence seems to point or suggest towards the Salt family being connected as they were with the empire and royalty as well. They had a royal bathroom in the house, which obviously was only for use by the royals that visited, Henry of Battenberg and Prince and Princess of Wales, obviously for them to, you know, go and clean up and wash their hands after they'd planted trees, commemorative trees in the grounds. So their connections, royalty having stayed here for one point, I think 1882 for 3 days over the midsummer, which is, as we know, a very special time between solstice and midsummer, like June 22nd, 3rd, 4th. So there's a lot of coincidences and symbolism. I'm not spinning any theories, this is all just hypothesis. But when you get so much evidence and in the history all kind of points in one direction, then that's probably the best way to look. And when you look there, you can see other things going on. So I'm going to keep looking, not today as I've got too much work to do, but I've got other podcasting to do as well. I'm going to keep looking and then maybe at some point I'm going to come back with like a tree cutter and get into the ivy, because those great big mounds over there, that's all just rubble. I'm only looking at what's exposed here and down here around the sides, but there must be a lot of this, and I don't know. I want to put out an appeal as well to anybody else that might have come across these down the years. Anybody might notice them, anybody that's got any explanations, then you can get in touch with me. Best ways on Twitter, Davige74, that's Davige 74. You get me on Twitter there. So right, sign off for now. And one thing I wanted to correct from, I think, the first video, as I said, that down in the billiard room yonder that way, where Titus Salt Jr. was found dead in the morning. He wasn't. Apparently it was 3 in the afternoon when they found him, or round about that time. Apparently he'd been out for a walk into Saltaire in his finest, and he'd enjoyed a cigar or two, had a parade up and down the Victoria Road, and then returned home for lunch, and then retired to the billiard room, not feeling too great. And he was found about 3 in the afternoon, and they called for the doctor. Dr. Ellis pronounced him dead, and his cortege was made up, his beautiful casket and everything was taken away by the butlers and grounds people and everybody else. So they had a grand funeral procession for him, and thus began the curse. So my apologies, I correct that now. And as it's getting busier again, I'm going to bid you bye-bye for now. Still trying to get into the kitchen gardens, not sure on that one, I'll get back to you. Alright, so here from now, from the Rune mystery at Milner Field, there's me opening a can of worms for anybody like me, probably the guys out there that are more kind of geeky in this kind of stuff. But I know that, and it doesn't matter who you are. If you're interested, just do your own research, and you'll see the themes that are cast and carved into the house. Alright, bye for now.